Melania Trump weighing in briefly, ladies and gentlemen. And it was caught on camera. And she was asked, Mrs. Trump, what do you think? You know, are you up for doing some campaigning? And I want to share with you her reaction. Melania Trump being asked about the campaign, weighing, you know, we haven't seen her a lot, right? We haven't seen her. She's been kind of keeping a low profile. She did do something at Mar-a-Lago quite recently with the head of state who was visiting, and they played like Pretty Woman, and she came in. It was really quite a scene because she was quite striking, and that went over well, but she just hasn't been out on the campaign trail. And look, I think she's gotten burned, right? Like, I mean, it can't be fun to be her and to have gotten the like nonstop criticism from the mainstream media. I will say this about her. She has maintained such an elegance in the face of all that. And sometimes by saying nothing, you say so much. And I think that's really been her way of dealing with it. I have a friend who knows her well, has known her for a long time, and said, there is just no one nicer, no one sweeter. And this is a direct quote. And this was actually, she told me this back in 2016. She said, I have never heard Melania say a bad word about anyone. So, wow. I mean, that just struck me as quite an endorsement. And she knew her from like the fashion circle, et cetera. But anyway, Melania Trump getting asked by reporters about whether or not she's going to be on the campaign trail. And let's watch her here.
Mrs. Trump, are you going to return to the campaign trail with your husband? Stay tuned. Mrs. Trump,
okay.
Are you going to return?
It was short. I told you. Like I said, she's of very few words. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. She's done a few things. I did see her recently giving a speech on coming to America. It was actually one of the speeches that, you know, people were being made U.S. citizens, so they were getting their citizenship. It was in D.C., and it was really unique and interesting and special. And I think part of the message there was at that time, look, you can come here legally. You can do this the right way. And we do want people. She is an immigrant herself. He married 2 out of 3 immigrants, interestingly enough. So when they say, oh, you know, he doesn't like foreigners, et cetera, I think his point sort of goes back to we need a system that works, and we want to know who we're taking in and why we're taking them in, because it has to be the right thing for our country. And if you're taking in people who have criminal backgrounds, or if you're just taking in people and you don't even know who's here, like let's assume they're the greatest people in the world. Well, then you want them, right? But don't you want them to be part of the system? And don't you want it to be done on the up and up so that everybody is kosher in this manner? It's better for them. It's better for us. So you've got to reform it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it has to happen. It really does. It has to happen. And he's all over it. And it's driving the left absolutely crazy, especially as you see all of these polls, which increasingly over and over again show us one thing and one thing only. That Donald Trump is the predicted winner in 2024.